So Haku's like kind of like this boy figure at the beginning who we later learn is kind of like a river spirit. And Haku's basically stuck in this bathhouse because Haku can't remember his real name, which is related to him being a spirit, river spirit. And as soon as he can remember that he's a river spirit, he can leave the bathhouse. So I think this theme of names being really important, like having your name changed, is very representative. But it's also really interesting to me. So Haku has this really great quote, and he says, "Once you do something, you never forget, even if you can't remember." And I think that's really interesting in the context of like forgetting your name. It's sort of like, to me at least, it kind of like represents like experiences being kind of like part of who we are. So even if you don't remember the thing, like you still have the experience. I don't know. What do you think about that quote?
Yeah, I think it kind of touches upon an idea that their names are not being taken away by their own volition. They're sort of being indoctrinated or kidnapped or forced into the situation of working at the bathhouse. The only reason why they're forgetting stuff is because they're sort of being forced to forget that. And maybe this is like a metaphor or an analogy for them not truly forgetting their memories, but having someone else supplant memories in their brain that they want them to remember instead of their own existence, but their own existence cannot be erased.
Yeah, exactly. Like Haku cannot become something else because his being and his nature is true. Even if he can't remember what that nature is, the nature still exists beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, this gets kind of deep into like some philosophy and some interpretations of the movie. As a character, I mean, yeah, he's only there, and at the end, he sort of stands up to Yubaba, and it seems like he's going to leave the place, and he promises Chihiro that he's going to see her again. But the one thing that actually ties Haku to his own being and his own memories is Chihiro. He remembers Chihiro in her shoe when she went down to clean her. I think she went down to the river to wash or just play or something, and Haku had seen her there for the first time. So I think maybe there's an element of fate in this as well. Do you think, where maybe stuff is sort of destined to happen?
Yeah, I think destiny is part of the story as well. Yeah, I mean, I think also the isn't so she remembers that Haku is a river spirit because Haku, or the river spirit, actually saved her life when she was a child before the events of the movie. Isn't that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, and also, so yeah, I mean, we're gonna get into more themes in a bit, but I think it's really interesting that yeah, Haku's kind of like transferred into the bathhouse through. I guess you could kind of you can kind of consider it like the environmental destruction of the river, because like the movie depicts like apartments being built, and then like Haku loses his role as the river spirit, and then he just like gets on a journey to this bathhouse. I don't know. That's a whole nother thing, but that I found that really interesting.